Hello, everyone. This is Yusuf Haji at the Haji Daily today. Welcome back to our weekly podcast, a news podcast, everything podcast. Don't miss out, Minnesota. This is a great show. We have you on Twitter, we have you on YouTube, we got you on Facebook, all at the Haji Daily. Hello and welcome to the Haji Daily. Like I said, put the weekly show in Minnesota. This is what it's all about. I am your host, Yusuf Haji. In today's episode, first of all, I got my friend, Mickey Mo. You know this guy. Everybody know this guy. So I am the American with an accent. I hope you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. My friend Mickey Mo, he and I ran for Ward 9 for city council election. We both lost. But that's not why we're here. Are we here for that?
Well, if it wasn't for losing, I might not have time for this. I would be an extremely busy city council person, as there is an endless supply of need and problems in our ward. So it would be unlikely that we could have a really a regular kind of show like this if it wasn't for the fact that we didn't win. So there's another good reason why I'm happy to not have won.
You like my cup? It says, use your voice. Do you see it?
Very good.
It's got a big mouth. I got a big mouth.
Well, it's important.
So
It's
I got a
important.
big brain. And I got a big brain too that I can use as well. But let's get on our show and talk about what we need to talk about. One, we're talking about carjacking. There's a news about carjacking. And guess what? Ward 9. You know
Yeah,
who's the city councilman in Ward 9, my friend?
I don't like to talk about it.
Please talk about it. I am going to ask you again, my friend. Let's talk about it. This
Well, I
is
mean,
a
it's everything's going to be going in the wrong direction with bad leadership, with inexperienced leadership, with leadership that doesn't know how to solve problems, that doesn't have experience in solving problems, that doesn't have experience in working with the very resources that it takes to solve the problems. And so I just don't know how
well
things are going
here
better.
what this is Sahan Journal. You know, hey, Sahan is the new thing now and the new kid on the block about what's going on in our community and all the breaking news and insider information and everything, and I love Sahan Journal, by the way. And here is an article about policing and justice on Sahan Journal. This article was posted June 9th, 2022 by Sheila Mulrooney Eldred. That sounds like a British name, or is it like more like Irish? Anyway, it says,
Eldred is a typical African American name.
is it
Yeah, it is.
at the end? Oh, okay. Wow. You sure?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Eldred comes from elder. It's a
oh, all right.
yeah. So
I
it's a
Sheila.
long
I love it.
historically
I love the
African
name.
American
I
name.
would love to meet her. I love the name. I would love to meet her. I know I will meet her. Probably she will call me about something sometime. Maybe I don't know, but she will call me. I know they call me. They ask me questions. So about what
Sahan, I
happens.
love I love Sahan Journal. They're a great organization led by a fantastic guy.
He's a great
We
guy.
met him during
He's a
that war.
humble. Mukhtar is a humble dude,
Very
man.
humble guy and operates with a very high level of professionalism.
Yes,
So
yes,
I
yes.
really I really
I
like what
got you, Mukhtar. I got you, brother. I got your back anytime, brother.
yeah, I really like what they do.
We look out for each other, all of us, as journalists, as podcasters, as newsmakers, as everybody. We gotta look for each other, man. We gotta get the truth out. That's why they call us what? What estate are we, Mickey? Do you know? Third estate or the fourth estate?
I'm not sure. I think that they're going to have to come up with a brand new name for us because we're different. We're
It's gonna
unique.
be new. It's gonna be anyway. Let's get back to our article. I have it up here. Carjacking rattled South Minneapolis mosque. Leaders say many worshippers have stopped coming for nightly prayers. Religious leaders at Abu Bakr al Sadiq. That is Ward 9. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That's right next to my campaign office as I was campaigning for Ward 9 City Council.
Listen,
Uh,
anybody that's ever been there at the wrong time on the wrong day has been stuck in that traffic for 30 minutes trying to figure out where they're supposed to go and how they're supposed to get out of that neighborhood. So yeah, everybody knows that spot. Everybody knows that spot. And it's it's really unfortunate because there's a reason why this particular mosque is targeted.
yeah.
And one, The people that go to this mosque are extremely peace loving.
Mhm.
Not going to get resistance when you
Right.
carjack these people.
Mhm.
They have really nice cars. Let's be honest.
Right.
Let's tell it. Let's tell the truth.
They work hard for it. They work hard for it. They
They
own
have
businesses on that block.
they have typically higher end late model SUVs and nice sedans, the perfect kind of car for people to steal.
Mhm.
And it's the neighborhood is hard to get to by the police. It's not frequented by the police. They know that the police are low in numbers,
Right.
and it's almost a 100% guarantee that
Right.
they're going to get away. You almost never, of all the carjackings that occur, you so rarely hear about a carjacking that was thwarted by the
Mhm.
police.
Yeah.
Oh, the
No.
police heard about a carjacking. They cut the guy off. They found where he was. They followed him. All the carjackings that happen, and it almost never ends with the police catching the guy immediately after stealing the car. So
Right.
it's a sure thing. You're gonna get the car. You're gonna get away. You're not encountering resistance. It's just a terrible mixture, kind of a perfect storm of bad circumstances for this community and this neighborhood.
I'm scrolling through my phone. I'm trying to post this show somewhere else. So I got more Facebook pages that people can go into and hopefully follow the show and see what's going on and what we're doing right now as we are live. Um, so and that's what it is. I mean, they you and I ran for city council in this ward. We said we support. We are against the defunding or the abolishing of police. And now they got a defender as a city councilman. Has he given a statement on this yet? Has he said anything? Jason Chavez. Jason Chavez, where are you with your radical ideas about public safety? This community is like any other community in Ward 9, including our Latino community, immigrant community, our East African, among the immigrant community that call this space home. And Abu Bakr Sadiq is a big place, man. You were there. I think last time we were there, I think you were, I don't know. I've never seen you even the election time. And Joshua, you keep saying there's a lot of tension between the Latino and the Somali immigrant community. I don't know what you were talking about, but I hope you can explain more. What tension is there between
I,
this?
I can't tell you how many times I overheard him saying such nonsensical and frankly derogatory and offensive remarks. Do you remember when he compared the illegal immigration issue as it relates to the Hispanic community with the
Mm.
Somali community? Remember when he lumped
Yeah,
the Somali community into his
right,
whole illegal immigration issue?
right, right,
That is so just plain ignorant
right,
and offensive. Now,
right,
an immigrant, and I'm not a Somali immigrant or a
right,
Somali American, but I was offended by the fact that he tried to lump a group of people who specifically and uniquely have worked so hard to come from difficult circumstances to
right.
legally
What is
immigrate
the
to this
name of
country.
the other city council lady before him? Alejandra? Alejandra,
Yeah,
or how do you say her last name?
Alondra Cano.
Cano. Uh, Alejandra Cano said the same thing to me. She said, there's a tension between the Latino and the East African community. I did not understand that then. What kind of? I didn't know there was a tension. So
Well,
is this
I
something
never
that they
thought it.
is this something that they created? They just I don't know. It's a create because I mean you have a Latino community that speaks Spanish and then you have an East African community from Somalia that speaks Somali. These two
As
languages.
as far as the
What is
businesses are
what
concerned,
is it? Is it okay? Is it the tension comes from business? I mean, I don't understand.
as
I've
far as
never
the
seen.
businesses are concerned, you've seen it yourself.
Right.
How many Somali, uh, 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 East African community members are shopping at the Latino-owned grocery stores?
I was eating at Latino restaurants all the time throughout the campaign, and I didn't care where they're
If
from. I don't care
if you
if the
go
food is
into
good. Is good.
a Somali-owned grocery store, you're going to find all kinds of Hispanic oriented grocery items because that's their community. They're trying to serve the customers that come into their store, and vice versa. You go into Dirter Market, and it's gotten a ton of Hispanic grocery items. You go into the grocery stores on Mercado Central and Bloomington and Lake Street, and it's all kinds of food for East African community members. So
Mhm.
it's just the idea that there's tension. I mean, I just don't know where they're coming from. So many shared values, an emphasis on education, an emphasis on law-abiding activities, an emphasis on behavior and family values. So many shared values
We
between
got
those
so much, so
communities.
much. These communities have so much in common than what Jason and Kano are trying to lead us to believe that there is a
I don't
tension between
understand where that
Latino.
even comes from.
Anyway,
I mean,
Jason
I
Chavez,
think
you
it's just
are
a
the
lack
city
of
council.
experience.
You are Ward 9 city council. You still want to defund the police. Um, you're still fighting and pushing back. Look, we got problem with police. We're not saying the police are perfect in our communities. We got a lot of problem, right? But you had ideas, and I hope you can explain this issue of many of your constituents who are in Ward 9, especially Abu Bakr Al Sadiq is a local mosque, community mosque here, Ward 9, that are not, the community is not able to go and do their nightly prayers because of carjacking. What are you doing about it, Jason? What are you doing about it, Zainab? What are you doing about it, Omar Fateh? Because Zainab and Omar Fateh and Jason Chavez, Zainab is the brainchild behind defunding the police and abolishing the police. And now she's running for Senate in that district. She's running for Senate. So the community need to know if she does get elected, is it going to be our communities, our immigrant communities, our Latino and East African and every other community in this district, are they going to be safer? What do you think, my friend?
Well, I
Tell
mean,
me. I want to hear
we
you.
don't have to offer our opinion because the facts speak for themselves. Everybody
You got a
who
point.
lives in Ward 9 knows by virtue of their own ear and their own eye what is going on the street level. You hear the gunshots, you see the violence, you hear the stories. Let me tell you something. When one person has their car stolen under difficult circumstances like a carjacking, it's not one victim, it's the entire neighborhood that becomes victimized because everybody that lives there says the same exact thing. That could have been me.
Mhm.
I was there yesterday.
We're
If
not
that
talking.
carjacking
We're
had
not even
occurred,
talking about. We're not even talking about lives lost to gun violence in Ward 9 and Minneapolis. We haven't even touched this thing, right? Like we are just like, man, this is just one part of what is going on in Ward 9, right? I know of around 15, 20 people that have lost their lives through gun violence in Ward 9 as of around Ward 9. If it's Ward 8, Ward 10, Ward 9, North
28,
Minneapolis,
the
people are
latest,
getting shot left and right. Go ahead.
well, I'm just going to say the latest statistics are 28% of all the gun violence is happening in the third precinct.
Mhm.
So, and
Hmm.
that, I mean,
Interesting.
when you consider that 46 or 47% is North Minneapolis, we're really talking about of the 50% that's not happening in North Minneapolis, 28% of it is happening in basically in and around Ward 9.
Mhm.
And so it's just a very, very real situation that people are living with on a daily basis. And it's, you know, how many people I know personally that their family members or themselves have said enough's enough, I can't stay here. I can't keep putting my family at risk just because I love Ward 9. I love the history of it. I love what it used to be. I love what maybe it should, might be in the future. But right now, the danger is just too high. I can't stay here. I can't, I'm not gonna risk my family's safety to make a principled stand that Ward 9 ought to be better than it actually is. We have to deal with reality. It actually is very, very difficult and dangerous to navigate these streets right now. You look at what happens after dark. The temperature is going up. It was 90 something today. As the temperature rises, the crime rises. It's always been like that in Minneapolis. Look, I didn't just get here 5 years ago. I was born and raised here.
Mhm.
So it's always like this.
Mhm.
It's always like this. The summertime is the worst time for crime in Minnesota and in Minneapolis specifically. So we have difficult days ahead.
Difficult days. Moving on, as we're speaking about police, and as we're talking about Ward 9, Ward 10, we got a little bit wealthier residents in downtown, downtown Minneapolis, who are, this is an article by Star Tribune. This was posted by Faiza Mohamud, another a great person, another great lady that I know very well and I'm very familiar with. Great work, by the way, Faiza. I'm so proud of you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You got this beautiful articles always coming out. I got your back too, my sister. I got your back with, as they call me, the American with an accent. Anyway, welcome back to our show. This is Yusuf Haji with Mickey Mo. We're just having a little bit of fun today. And yes, I am on my strong coffee, so I'm a little bit hyper end, hyper end. But this is an article that came out June 13th, and there is basically a pilot project to bring an off-duty beat officers to patrol the Mile district in the summer. um, Minneapolis residents of downtown East have banded together to clamp down on rising violent crime in their neighborhood. The group has launched an online fundraising campaign to help with hiring and off-duty police officers to patrol the Mile District neighborhood from 5 to 10 p.m. In the summer. So far, it has raised more than 4,000 towards its $30,000 goal. Hey, man, Mickey, what do you think of that? What do you
Well, it's
think of that?
inevitable. I mean,
The
listen,
wealthy get wealthier and they afford to.
when you have means, you are not going to allow a lack of resources to be the reason why you fail or why your quality of life goes down. The downtown scene in Minneapolis is not what it was 25 years ago or even 15 years ago. The
Right.
people who live downtown are the wealthiest 5% of our city, and they are not going to stand for all their attractions, Twins, Vikings, Guthrie Theater, all the comedy clubs and all the various restaurants and clubs. The very reason why they wanted to move and live downtown is not going to be taken away from people that have these kinds of resources.
Hmm.
They are going to do what it takes to make a safe space for themselves. And let's be honest, the police recognize who their most critical constituency are. They are supposed to protect and serve. And if they had a priority list, they would be like, we protect and serve the wealthiest people first and the poorest people last. I mean, it's not a big secret. I'm not revealing anything. That's just the way it works.
It is. It is. It is. It is.
It's
The
a
rich.
sad reality
The
because
that,
we
that
don't have enough to go around.
right. The
That the
rich.
wealth, the
Yeah.
least of us are going to get the smallest share, and the wealthiest are going to get that biggest share.
The rich are gonna take care of themselves because they got the resources and the wealth and the money to look out for themselves.
Sure,
So
sure.
we are left with the defunders.
Look, the last
We
time
are at the mercy. We are at the mercy of the defenders and abolishers of police.
the
Look, when
last
I'm saying there is a problem, right? There is a police problem in our hands. Like there is, and we do need a reform, and we need people who are serious enough to work on this reform from the federal level to the city level, right? This is not a joke. To the state level, right? We have a governor, we have a house. We'll talk about that.
we have a surplus.
We got a surplus.
I
We
mean,
have a surplus,
you'd think we could figure it out. But,
right?
the last time I checked, and you heard the same information that I did. Despite the fact that Minneapolis overwhelmingly rejected the idea of defunding the police and forming a new whatever the story was, however they wanted to spin it, public new Department of Public Safety. Despite the rejection of that idea, kind of wholesalely, the small minority of defunders who were elected to the city council, that's Ward 2, Ward, I forget Elliot Payne's ward. Is he Ward 1? Ward 10 and Ward 9. This small cohort of defunders has, from the beginning, refused to work towards compromise or common goal reform. That's not what they're working towards. They are
Mhm.
standing firm on we think that the police are bad and we want the police out. We want a Minneapolis basically without police, or without a police as we know it type of attitude. And nothing, no compromise, no middle ground, no there are a lot of sane and reasonable solutions that we could be implementing right now, like more cameras, like
Mhm.
substations, like rebuilding the third precinct,
Amen.
like foot patrols, all
Amen.
kinds of
I
common.
advocated. I think it's a foot patrol. I
It's a
believe
no-brainer.
I said it. I said it, and I want to be clear that one of the ideas that I thought was great, and through research, this has worked. In the summertime, we don't need police to be on patrolling in a vehicle. They need to be on foot, walking in the community and talking to the community. Right?
Walking the
I mean,
hotspots,
that's
especially.
the traditional way of doing police work. Right? You got all these cops walking in our communities, connecting with our communities. Of course, with cultural sensitivity training and better understanding. Also, hiring from within the community, having officers from around Minneapolis, officers, or even those who are being hired, uh, a condition placed on them to during this hiring process for the first 2 years that they live around Minneapolis, and then maybe after that they can move out. Once they get to know the community get to know them. So
I mean,
anyway, go ahead.
don't even get me started. I'm the only person that ever had a legitimate, fully thought through 47-page
You or I?
reform package that detailed all of the smart ideas that already exist, that
Mhm.
have worked in other cities, that are just basically, low hanging fruit kind of ideas that we could have already started on if we just would agree to be solution oriented and stop fighting each other. The idea of hiring more people, even if you can't make them police officers, the idea of bringing more people into the system at some level, even as some kind of ground outreach coordinator.
Right.
You don't have to be a police officer to have a positive effect on your community. What we need to do is pour resources into our community, hire people from our community that can get out there on the streets and be uh, that government associated employee, staff member, faculty, administrator that can tie people that have needs together with the various resources that we have.
Right.
It's not complicated, and it's just the fact that people would rather make it into a political battle and stand on some kind of political high ground, well, and refuse to budge off of it while people get shot in the streets. It's sick. It's
Yes.
depressing, and it's really it's wrong.
We are almost on time. We are on
Mm.
time. We're on time on our show. Just wanna. By the way, I gotta give you some claps. I don't know. No, that's a bird chip. Let me give you some clap. No, that is a good night song for Mickey Mo. That's a good point that you made, my friend. Let me see if I can find some clap for you. No, no, that's the wrong one. I gotta get the right one. There you go, my friend. I hope you like that. That's a great point you've made, man. I totally agree. You did have a lot to say, to offer when you were running for City Council Ward 9. Let's talk about a little bit more. I want, and this, like I said, this is a weekly in Minnesota, weekly for Minnesota show for Mickey and I. We'll be talking about a lot of politics, and we got a lot of things coming. It's election year this year. There's a lot of races going on, from governor, houses, Minnesota House, Senate, among many things. And we're gonna find out candidates, right? And we will have a great discussion about what we want to talk about in regards to that. And hopefully, and again, as we go on, hopefully we can put a little bit of a national spotlights on issues that are going on that are relevant to Minnesota. Not necessarily, but crazy things too that we can find online. Now we can have a great discussion around. But Mickey, man, you are great today. I really appreciate your time for being this great co-host of us and of ours. And we want to make sure that you join us next week for more of this. And we continue having this great discussion. Mickey, you want to close out and got something to say?
Well, there is a Omar Fatah hearing, I think, this week.
Oh yes, tomorrow 9
It's
a.m. Right?
happening tomorrow.
Oh yeah. If you missed Senator Omar Fatah hearing last week, there's another one tomorrow morning 9 a.m. and we will talk about that
Yeah,
after.
there is a way to watch it. I
Yes.
know I'll be watching it either live or I'll be watching the rebroadcast or whatever they've captured because it's very, very interesting. It's It seems like a small issue, but it's a very
It's deep.
intricately
It's deep.
coordinated issue that involves multiple elected officials here in Minneapolis, both at the local level and at the state level, and even at the national level. And I think that we're going to get a taste of maybe what is a tip of the iceberg type story with the hearings that we see tomorrow.
Investigation. Det- det- Detective Haji and Mickey Mo are on the case tomorrow 9 a.m. Tomorrow 9 a.m. Check out Senator Omar Fattah's hearing, Senate hearing, and yeah, if you missed last week, make sure you check that out, and hopefully we can share that link. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is my friend Mickey Yusuf Haji at the Haji Daily. Thank you for joining us this evening. We got more for you next week. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, everybody. See you.